Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to actually explain to you how to answer a question on discrete random variable, and to do that I'm going to show you an exam question. So we're just going to move to math question bank, and we're going to look at an exam question. So in this question here, you can see that you've got a person playing a game which involves a biased six-sided die, and the faces are labeled -3, -1, 0, 1 to 5. So it's not a traditional cubical dice where you have 1 up to 6. You have negative numbers also on the dice, and you can see that the probabilities are not uniform. That's why it's called a biased die, because the probabilities are not the same. Okay, so they create the table for you here with x being the score, and then you have the different probabilities under each value of x. And the first part A is calculating the exact value of p. So you can see that there's an unknown p here among the different probabilities. In part B, you're calculating the expected score, which is e of x. And in part C, you need to find that the probability has a total score of -3. So the person plays the game twice and adds the two scores. So you're rolling the die 2 times and you're adding the two different scores, and you need to get a total score of -3. All right, so that's the question, and we're going to try to attempt it on the board. So first of all, I'm going to actually rewrite the table with the different values. So I have -3, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 5. And then as probabilities, I have 1 over 18, p, 3 over 18, 1 over 18, 2 over 18, and 7 over 18. So you have x, and then you have probability x is equal to small x. Now, there are 3 key formula to learn for discrete random variable. The first one being that if you add all the probabilities, so sigma means sum, so sum of all the probabilities should give you 1. And then the formula for ex is the sum, so sigma, sum of x multiplied to its probability. And then there's a third formula for variance, but in this question here, they don't ask us to find the variance. So if you had to find the variance, it would be sum of x squared p minus ex in bracket to the square. So that third formula we're not going to use. Now, for most of these questions, the first part is basically the application of the first rule, this one. So the first rule suggests that if you add all the probabilities, you should get 1, which is common sense, because probability is between 0 and 1 and it can't exceed 1. So if you add all the possibilities, you should get a total of 1. So I'm going to use the first formula, which says that sum of probabilities should give me 1. So just use the formula. So if I add all the probabilities, so 1 over 18 plus b plus 3 over 18 plus 1 over 18 plus 2 over 18 plus 7 over 18, that should give me 1. So if you simplify, you get p plus 14 over 18 equal to 1. So p would be 1 minus 14 over 18. 1 is actually 18 over 18. So 18 over 18 minus 14 over 18, that's 4 over 18, and that's, you can divide by 2, you get 2 over 9. All right, so that's part A. Part B is finding e of x. Now, e of x is the sum of x multiplied to its probability. How do you do that? You take the x value, you multiply to its probability, and then you keep adding. After that, you're doing the same thing with each pair of values. Let me show you. So you take the value of x, which is -3, you multiply to its probability, which is 1 over 18, plus the next value of x, which is -1, multiplied to the probability p, plus 0 times 3 over 18, plus 1 times 1 over 18, plus 2 times 2 over 18, plus 5 times 7 over 18. All right, you see the process? So we had to do sum of x times its probability. So you take the value of x, you multiply to the probability plus the other value of x multiplied to the probability plus the other value of x multiplied to the probability, and you keep repeating that process. And if you simplify, you're going to get minus 3 over 18 here, minus p, but the p was 4 over 18 from the first part, so I'm just going to write it here, 4 over 18, plus 1 over 18, plus 4 over 18, plus 35 over 18, and that's going to give me 33 over 18. You see that I'm not trying to give to 3SF because the question paper tells you that you either give to 3SF or exact form, and exact form is always the best. So we keep it in this form. Now the third part told you that the person is playing the game 2 times and is adding the scores, and the sum of the scores, so sum of the scores should give you -3. So you're rolling that die 2 times, and when you're adding the 2 different scores, you're getting a sum of -3. So what are the possibilities? For instance, if I'm getting -3, -1, and I'm adding them, you get -4. So it's non-3. So if you think about it, there are basically just two different possibilities. You can actually get -3, 0, which will give you a sum of -3, or you can get 0, -3, which will give you a sum of -3 again. Now listen carefully to how I actually say that sentence here. So I get the probability of -3 and 0, or 0, or probability I get 0 and -3. Now in probability, every time you're saying or, it means add, plus. Every time you're saying and, it means multiply. So the probability that I'm getting -3 is 1 over 18 and 0, so times. Probability you get 0 is 3 over 18, or means plus. Probability you get 0 is 3 over 18. So here you're getting 0 and -3, which is 1 over 18. So you actually have 2 times the same expression, which is 3 over 18 times 1 over 18. And then if you simplify that, you get 2 times 3 over 324, which gives you as final answer 6 over 324. All right, so in this question, you just have 3 parts. You could actually have a 4th part where they ask you to find the variance also, and that's where you would use the 3rd formula. Okay, perhaps we can create another video where we actually go through a question where we're finding the variance. All right, so I hope that this video was useful to you.